So the question is, what is good EBITDA? See, the answer is there is no standard EBITDA. There is absolutely no standard EBITDA anywhere in the world for any company. For that matter, there is no standard norm anywhere in the world for any company. And why is that so? That is because these numbers will keep on changing. These numbers will keep on changing based on the economic scenario prevailing at any given point in time in that particular geography. But your question is very valid. There is no standard is understood. But then how do I figure out whether my EBITDA is good or my EBITDA is not good? How do I figure out whether my EAT is good or is not good? So for the purpose of benchmarking, Arpita ji, what will need to be done? You will have four ways of benchmarking. So basically your concern is how do I figure out as to what is my EBITDA, whether this year's EBITDA is good or is not good. So firstly what you do is compare your EBITDA of the current year with the EBITDA of your last year. So and don't compare in terms of totality, compare it as a ratio. So you can calculate EBITDA ratio. And how would you calculate EBITDA ratio? So you will calculate EBITDA ratio taking EBITDA as the numerator and divided it by the sales. So this will be your EBITDA margin ratio. So you calculate this ratio for last year and also for this year. So you can compare, if the current year's EBITDA is coming, margin is coming 20%, last year it was 15%, that means you have done good this year. You can also compare your EBITDA with your budget. So as a business, I'm sure you must be making a budget, annual budget. So you must have, when you must have budgeted, you must have realized that your EBITDA for the year 24-25 was going to be 22%. But when you compare with the actual EBITDA of EBITDA margin of 24-25, if you realize that this figure is 20%, that means in 24-25 your EBITDA has reduced. That means operationally your business has not performed well. Third thing what you can do is many of the associations, business associations like FICCI, CII, Maharashtra Chamber of Commerce, IMC, PSD, CCI, ECMA, CM. So all these business associations from time to time, they also bring out the industry norms. So you can compare your EBITDA margin with the industry norm. So this is how you can figure out. Or what you can also do is you can also compare with your number with your competitor if those numbers are easily available. So अगर आपके competitor का, let's say if your competitor is having an EBITDA of 14% and you are having an EBITDA of 20%, apparently you are doing much better in the business than what your competitor is doing. So friends, all of you, this is a very good question and I would like to draw your attention of every one of you, because we are going to discuss many more ratios as we move forward. For all those ratios, it may be a current ratio, it may be a debt equity ratio, it may be return on equity, return on investment, return on capital employed. Or for all those ratios, please remember there are no set standards, but you can do the benchmarking. And how can you do the benchmarking? You can do the benchmarking following these four parameters. And in case if some of you have a business which is multi-plant, right? So you got a multi-plant business. So you got a plant is all over the country. So in that case, what you can also do is do the inter-plant comparison. So you can calculate EBITDA of plant in Hubli. You can calculate plant EBITDA of a plant in Tamil Nadu or in Maharashtra or anywhere else. And that can also give you an idea as to which plant is giving you the best EBITDA, and use that plant as the benchmark and find out from them as to what are the best practices that plant is deploying. And then you replicate those practices at other plants also. And that is how you can improve the performance of your business using EBITDA as the benchmark. Okay. Anyway, any other question, please?
So there are quite a few questions in the chat box. You want me to read them out for
Yeah,
you,
you can.
or
Yes, we can answer them now, and then we can go to the remaining part of the P&L.